The run down to turn one. Will they get through it cleanly this time? Pagenaud screen left, Kimball screen right, ready to start the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. Trouble, cars into the outside wall. That's Sebastian Bourdais, and I believe that's Tony Kanaan. It is Kanaan, the other car.
It looked like they had it avoided it, didn't it, Scott? They had moved over to a side.
It just looked like Tony, the number 10, just went left, ended up blocking wheels. Right now, he thinks he doesn't have too much damage to the front wing, so he wants to get out of there and get going.
I think he's going to be disappointed when he goes back to the pits. That's quite a mess in the front.
You know, we talked about this all day yesterday and today. Turn one, as we talked about in the open.
There is a lot of debris down there. Let's hope that the damage suffered on the cars.
We talked about, Scott, how they get spread out and then all try and funnel down, and the funnel doesn't always work.
It's really difficult in conditions like those when you're focusing on a corner that's to your right and you have cars all around you, to remember that there could be somebody on your left.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened. He might have moved up a little bit high.
Now, when we go and watch the start of this, guys, just watch what happens here. It looks like, honestly, I think number 9, Dixon, let's roll this now. I think what ends up happening here is he's coming along, and he's going to turn around and just start to flare off to the right-hand side, just a small amount. Tony reacts, and the blue and white car goes towards the wall, ends up collecting Sebastian Bourdais. So Sebastian thought that he ended up having an opportunity to maybe go around the outside. He's right along now with Tony Kanaan. Let's watch this. So he thinks he's going to go around the outside. The 9 of Scott Dixon takes his space. And so he's got to move to the left. And you know how quick this is. Remember, we haven't been in the car for a couple of hours here, Eddie. All of a sudden, here we go. Watch this along with Sebastian Bourdais. He's got nowhere to go.
He had nowhere to go, but he could have maybe anticipated the fact that he had a wall on his left-hand side.
It's kind of like you were saying before, Eddie, right, though? You're looking to make a right-hand turn, and there the problem comes from your left for both drivers.
Right, and there's no spotter in the world that can tell you what's happening at a start like that. How very unfortunate with 2 strong cars for this race.
Now watch how this all spreads out. Everybody's looking for a position, trying to set yourself up to turn. Second car in line, a lot of sparks coming out of it. And then right behind him.
But Dixon just followed the car that was ahead of him.
Helpless.
Yeah, helpless.
We both had that feeling before.
Extremely frustrated. Rightfully so, extremely frustrated.
So the